2026 is shaping up to be a very selective crypto market. Not all the altcoins that you have in mind will perform very well. It's no longer about hype, it is about real adoption, strong narratives, and also institutional interest. So today I will break down the 5 altcoins that I'm watching right now and the latest updates, because understanding what is happening behind the scenes will help you position very well for this upcoming cycle. The first one should be no surprise to any of you who have been watching me for some time. That is Sui. But I don't want you to just, focus on the name Sui. I want you to understand why Sui is positioning as the best altcoin for this upcoming cycle. Sui is still one of the most talked about next generation layer 1 blockchains. There is a big reason for this. Sui is doing everything right. They launched a native stablecoin, USD3, that's big for its ecosystem growth. And apart from that, they just integrated and collaborated with Erebor Bank. So Erebor Bank would provide direct connectivity between Sui's blockchain and traditional banking tools such as treasury management, lending, and many more. The focus here is the integration with the bank. Also AI narrative positioning, also privacy considerations. These are real catalysts that we have for Sui. This is attracting developers, and also there is infrastructure building that is happening. And Sui actually has this, liquidity that other altcoins are looking for, and also CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange futures launching on 4th of May. That's also another big thing. So a lot happening around stablecoins, banking, institutional flows, and ecosystem and blockchain improvements, with the privacy layer and AI integration, two most hot narratives that are coming up into the picture. I encourage you to grab some Sui. Not a financial advice, you can do your own research, you can have your own conviction, but I'm betting big on Sui. The next one is Solana. Solana remains one of the strongest major altcoins with institutional inflows, and that's no secret, we can see the numbers. Some analysts expect Solana to reach new all-time high in 2026 due to the massive growth that we see happening. I personally don't see a new all-time high in 2026, potentially 2027, but analysts are already predicting it due to the growth. And you know what happened just recently? SEC classified Ethereum and Solana as non-securities. And that is the regulatory unlock everyone has been waiting for. Because you know what that means? Because for 10 years, crypto lived in a legal uncertainty. Ethereum and Solana are both becoming close to commodities like gold and oil, not equities like stocks in a company. More money can flow into Solana in a secure and confident way. That was pretty big news for this project. I'm big on Sui and Solana. Then the third one. Probably a lot of you are already positioning into that project. This is the most important narrative in crypto right now, and that is AI. AI and blockchain. The project I'm talking about is Tau Bitensor. Grayscale increased Tau's exposure to 43%. That's huge institutional signal that we have over here. Tau is getting mentioned a lot right now compared to all the other AI projects, because Grayscale also filed an ETF, and it is up more than 30% on the monthly time frame, and institutional validation is real catalysts here, and we see it happening in real time. So we already have the ETF filed from Grayscale. Yuma staked 19% of the supply. Volume is hitting millions, recently above $400 million in a single day. And people often call Tau as the Bitcoin of AI narrative, which is pretty big. We have the real use cases, we have the decentralized machine learning network happening. So in my opinion, Tau is one of the strongest narratives in the entire crypto market right now. And I personally see this trend continuing for 2026, 2027, and beyond that for this upcoming cycle. AI has been a hot narrative in every cycle so far. And in this cycle, AI is not going to be any different in my opinion. We would see those catalysts lining up and AI projects doing well. You don't have to, position yourself in Tau only. You can choose other projects in the AI narrative like FET, Render. But Tau has the momentum right now because of Grayscale's ETF, NVIDIA conferences where Tau gets mentioned a couple of times. So these are real catalysts and showing a lot of interest into the project. Now, project number 4, altcoin number 4. This one might surprise a lot of you, but I'll explain in a minute. I'm talking about Aster here. Aster is still early, I agree. But something important is happening behind the scenes. They are doing new token model reducing supply emissions by over 97%. Their focus is shifting towards staking-based rewards. Why does this matter? Because if we have lower supply, potentially we have stronger price structure. You also have on Aster the 1001x leverage. You have the privacy stack. You have custom interfaces. Exactly what you would build if you wanted, AI agents and social traders operating at scale. So definitely Aster is the one that I'm paying attention closely at. It's linked to CZ, the CEO of Binance. We are still very early, so therefore there is high uncertainty. But if you have to add a project that is, highly speculative and you see potential for upside, maybe Aster is the one. It's not a project that I would say it resembles Bitcoin or it would be the next Bitcoin. No, it's highly speculative. That's the reality. I can't, change the facts here. It's very early. Tokenomics are improving. We know who stands behind it. We know that they're trying to build some privacy layers, custom interfaces, very high leverage. So definitely there is potential in this project. Perpetual DEX, hot narrative. Still, of course, Hyperliquid is the leader, but Aster is the second, perpetual DEX by volume and performance. If you got Hyperliquid early enough and you're already invested, you might decide to stick to it. But if you're looking for that speculative project with a lot of upside potential, you can consider Aster. Now, number 5. This one should be no surprise for you. Casper. Casper is quietly building, and that's why a lot of investors are watching it. It's a blockchain like Ethereum and Solana, but it uses a different design called the block DAG, faster and more scalable. Until now, Casper was mainly fast payments, simple transfers, and this kind of concept. But right now, what the team is doing behind the scenes is something huge that we are not seeing in other altcoins. They have the Toccata upgrade. The Toccata upgrade, it is a very interesting type of upgrade because Casper from a basic, payment network is going to be a programmable platform. After Toccata, Casper will be able to, run smart contracts, apps on the blockchain, support ZK apps, which is basically privacy plus scaling tech, and add covenants, that's advanced transaction rules. And that is great. We've been waiting for this for some time. At the same time, projects are building around it. We have the EVM layer, Ethereum compatible apps. We have bridges like Hyperlane, which connects to 100 plus chains, and we have new apps, games, DeFi, etc. So this is like building, roads and cities around a country. The most exciting part and the very big idea that we have on the roadmap is the VPROG point. That is very important because this future upgrade will let different blockchains talk to each other directly. What does that mean? That's probably the best upgrade and that's the most huge one. If that works, applications from Ethereum, Solana, Sui, any other project could move to Casper easily. They could interact with each other seamlessly. So for example, an Ethereum app talks to a Solana app instantly. No bridges, no middleman, no trust issues. Everything happens so quickly, so easily. And that's very big because if you think about it, about crypto right now, all the blockchains are just like separate islands here, there. They don't connect to each other easily. So what Casper is aiming for, they are aiming to turn everything into one connected system. And if it succeeds, that's huge. And I'm sure it will because of the team. These guys are so bright, amazing. Of course, that's on the roadmap. It's an idea. It will take time. Nothing happens overnight. We're still at an early stage. It's technically complex what they're trying to achieve. But if it succeeds, that's going to be extremely huge for Casper. So I recommend you, if you're already holding it, have conviction, don't give up. If you're not holding it, maybe that's a project you should consider building a position within slowly, consistently. Because in the long term, for me, Casper would be a winner. So these are the 5 projects that I'm watching at closely in 2026. I want to tell you that crypto is actually moving towards AI, real world use, and institutional money. Those 3 points, not just hype anymore, not speculation. Obviously speculation and hype would still exist, but if you don't want to lose money, focus on these 3 things: AI, real world use, and institutional money. That's it. That's from me today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.